In fact, this technology can become so dark and murky that it can end up destroying our lives. Currently, the Metaverse headsets are very expensive, but Mark Zuckerberg has promised. But several years from now, common people like us may become less and less dependent on Google. Hey guys, this is Prashant from TechTutor, and today we have a very special story to tell. This is about Metaverse. Well, only few months back, probably most of us had never ever heard of Metaverse. But then, on one fine day, Mark Zuckerberg decides to change the name of his parent company from Facebook to Meta. And with this rebranding, Zuckerberg's company became the first big tech company to position itself as a full-fledged Metaverse company. And ever since this rebranding, there has been a lot of buzz and hype about this new age technology. But despite this huge hype, I think not enough people are talking in real sense about how Metaverse will change their life for better as well as for the worse. In this special episode, we will try to deconstruct the good, bad, and the ugly side of the Metaverse technology. Well, the Metaverse technology is based on the ageless concept that we humans are moving towards more and more engaging content. Let us try to simplify this with few examples. Our fathers and grandfathers mostly passed their free time by reading newspapers and listening to radio. After a few years came television that enthralled us by bringing movies and television serials right inside our drawing room. And then came the smartphone and internet era, where we see today's teens watching TikTok on their smartphones. So now the question is, what comes next? What is that next technology that will surpass internet and smartphones? Well, the answer is Metaverse. Metaverse is the next level of internet where you are not just gazing at the internet through a screen, but you're actually inside in it. Take anything that you can do right now on internet. Online shopping, chatting with friends, or watching mediation videos on YouTube. Now imagine doing all these in a setting that not only looks real but also feels real. The setting where you can stretch your boundaries and do whatever you want. Welcome to the world of virtual reality. This is the new and crazy reality that Meta's Metaverse technology is promising. Well, Meta plans to make this crazy reality possible by combining augmented reality and virtual reality. But you will have to wear a special headset to access this magical world. Currently, the Meta's Metaverse headsets are very expensive, but Mark Zuckerberg has promised that in the coming years, the prices of these headsets will become very affordable. This fact will eventually prove to be a huge game changer in making Metaverse immensely popular among masses. This will eventually open the door for common people like you and me in experiencing the endless possibilities of this new age technology. Well, the positives of this new age tech is simply incredible. Among the many positives, one of the biggest ones is that the Metaverse will help you in living your wildest and craziest fantasies. In one single day, you can enjoy surfing in a beautiful beach, perform meditation among beautiful mountains, and attend a music concert of your favorite pop star. And you will get to live these wild fantasies with incredible realism, with Metaverse blurring the line between fantasy and reality like never before. One of the ways the Metaverse will bring this incredible realism is by giving you a digital avatar. We all have a profile pic that represents us across all the social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and so on. In Metaverse, you won't just have a static and motionless image, but a digital avatar. A fully three-dimensional living depiction of you. And this 3D representation can again fulfill all your wildest fantasies. What this essentially means is that you can express and represent yourself the way you want. Did you always wish to look taller? You can be. Did you always fantasize to have a great body like Arnold? Well, you can have one. Forget about having a great body, you can even change your gender and your religious and race identity as well. If this is not enough, you can also transform your digital avatar into your favorite animal. Lion, tiger, even a dinosaur. Well, to make long story short, the world limitation and constraints simply does not exist in Metaverse. In Metaverse, you can be whatever you want. But mind you, this new age tech isn't just about enjoying and having a gala time in the virtual world. It will also redefine learning, making our learning more faster and efficient. Today, if we want to know or learn something, we simply Google it out. Today, Google is almost our default online library. But several years from now, common people like us may become less and less dependent on Google. That's because Metaverse is going to make learning so much more interactive and visually driven. You will have to learn new things by simply touching and watching stunning interactive visuals. And again, all of this will look and feel so real that you will probably never ever think of Googling anything again. However, if you think that this is all that is there to learning in Metaverse, then you cannot be more wrong. Well, the Metaverse can take your learning to the next level by transforming itself into a time machine and transporting you to any time zones in the past. You can transport yourself to Industrial Revolution or World War II and even to the age of dinosaurs. Can you imagine learning about dinosaurs by actually living with them? Well, I know this sounds crazy. Until now, I was only talking about learning and education. But what about the actual productivity? Well, I think this technology will increase our productivity. In fact, in the age of Metaverse, we are likely to become more productive than ever before. Today, nearly 40 to 50% of our workforce is working from their home, all thanks to the pandemic. But today, working from home makes us feel alienated from the actual work environment. That's because neither our home can never ever double up as an office, nor can those Zoom meetings or Google Meets can transport us to the actual office environment. But in the Metaverse, your digital avatar can not only visit the office but perform many productive works like attending a meeting, doing a sales pitch, giving a PowerPoint presentation, and a whole lot of other things. Well, more importantly, all this realism of being connected to professional world and office will happen while you are still lounging in your home. Forget about lounging in your home, you can be connected to your professional world while being anywhere and doing anything you want. Be it enjoying a wild safari in the jungle or enjoying a vacation with your family, this is the incredible power of Metaverse. Talking about productivity, Metaverse will allow us to do our work really fast. How about doing your work while you're still thinking? Sounds crazy, right? Well, I'm not joking here. Well, Meta's engineers are currently working on a technology called electromyographic or EMG input devices. Well, these devices can intelligently detect the impulses in your nerves, the signal that your brain sends to various parts of your body, telling them what they are supposed to do. Now, EMG then tries to convert these signals into corresponding actions in the virtual reality space. If this crazy technology does become a reality, then you can soon start sending online messages without even having to move your fingers and typing physical. Meta is all set to launch a headset that seeks to leverage the EMG technology. Currently codenamed as a Project Cambria, Meta is planning to launch the prototype of this headset as early as this year itself. And if everything goes according to the plan, it won't really be too long for Meta to launch the headset in the market. Let us now talk about the economic side of Metaverse. This dynamic online virtual world is likely to translate into booming billion-dollar industry, which means it will create a massive revenue and scores of jobs for the global economy. Well, the one way that this is going to be made possible is through a Meta's Horizon Worlds, a dedicated online store and gaming platform that will operate in Meta's virtual world. Horizon Worlds will operate like a marketplace where anyone can literally sell anything they want. From virtual clothes, virtual smartphones, virtual cars, to even virtual real estate properties. In other words, Metaverse can prove to be your gateway to become a successful entrepreneur. And what's really even more great is that you won't need huge amount of capital and investment to become a successful entrepreneur or seller in the Metaverse. All you need is imagination and coding skills and you are done for the good. But Metaverse booming economy won't be anchored by Meta alone. And it is now more certain that in coming decades, more and more people will spend time in Metaverse. Scores of big companies like Microsoft, Nike, Google, and Nvidia are all set to make big ticket investments in this technology. To make long story short, Metaverse spells a good news for the global economy and the economic future for the entire mankind. But Metaverse also has a dark and scary side to it. In fact, this technology can become so dark and murky that it can end up destroying our lives. And I have pretty solid arguments to support this controversial hypothesis. Let me start by talking first about data privacy, which is already a big issue even before Metaverse has actually become part of our lives. But as and when this virtual world becomes a real thing, data privacy will become a monumental challenge. Remember, in the virtual world, you will be represented by a 3D digital avatar that will do whatever you want and express the way you want. As Metaverse becomes a more mature technology, and this fundamentally means that we will give more data control to these digital avatars whose every moment will eventually be tracked by all the big companies, including Mark Zuckerberg's company Meta. Here I would like to make a point that your digital avatar will not only create a parallel identity, but will also live in a parallel life, partying or making friends, going to a company and doing a job, entering in a romantic relationship, going for a family vacation, every damn thing that you do in real life. And all these activities related to our personal and professional life will be tracked minute by minute by all these big tech companies. And now imagine the level of data privacy abuse that will take place in Metaverse. What makes matters even more worse? Since Metaverse is still in nascent stage, we have not even started discussing about the safety protocols and tools that can protect our data in the virtual world. Today, all the tones of content that is uploaded by millions of users on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter is constantly moderated. Well, this constant moderation makes sure that all the toxic and negative content, like content that promotes religious animosity, encourages sexual harassment, bullying, stalking, stays away from the social media platforms. As a result, today you are able to enjoy platforms like Facebook and Instagram with better peace of mind. However, coming to the Metaverse, it's a virtual world will nowhere be as straightforward as today's social media platforms. If anything, this world will be way too complicated than I and you can ever imagine it to be. And conducting a critical activity like moderation in a complicated and complex world of Metaverse will again prove to be a heck of a challenge. As things stand today, Meta is struggling to explain how it will protect our digital avatar from getting bullied and sexually harassed in the virtual world. Some critics even fear that our digital avatar can get even raped and subject to extreme physical torture, which can then have an adverse impact on our mental health. Worse, it can even drive us to complete depression. By the way, critics and even tech experts also fear that Metaverse may help in fulfilling the worst nightmare predicted by the countless Hollywood sci-fi movies. Over the decades, Hollywood has churned out several sci-fi movies predicting that in future we humans will end up giving complete control of our lives to robots, which will then wreak havoc on the entire human society. Well, if one thinks more rationally and logically, the fear that we humans will give complete control to robots may appear a little exaggerated and irrational, but the scary hypothesis looks very rational and possible in the context of Metaverse. 40 to 50 years from now, when Metaverse becomes a more advanced and sophisticated technology, it will end up blurring the line between fantasy-driven virtual reality and the actual reality we live in. Remember, this is one of the major principles that Metaverse is based on. What this actually means is that in near future, your digital avatar will end up taking great control of your life. This includes determining your friend circle, all your important choices in personal and professional life, and even the way you think and feel. Well, this already sounds pretty scary to me. And now I come to the final negative point of Metaverse, which has to do with depression and loneliness, something that we all humans hate. Today, almost all leading social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and WhatsApp are often accused of making us feel really terrible about ourselves. Social scientists claim that these platforms are notorious for promoting narcissism and narrow-minded attitude among all its followers, which in turn makes them feel lonely and really unhappy. But wait till Metaverse happens to your lives. Metaverse, with its amazing power to bend reality and bring an incredible amount of realism to the virtual world, it can make our lives into a living hell. In other words, it will take negative emotions like depression and loneliness to another level. Let me simplify this for you. Remember, I had told in the very beginning of this video that Metaverse can fulfill all your craziest and wildest fantasies. You may not be good looking in real life, but in the virtual world, you can end up being a stunning and gorgeous looking woman. You can own a flashy luxury car or go to an exotic vacation or even with multiple girlfriends. Now, living all such fantasies may give you a high and make you feel really happy. But wait till you remove the VR headset from your head. The moment you do that, you will be back to the real world and all your wild fantasies will come crashing down in a flash of a second. You are back into the real world where you feel immensely limited and constrained. A world where you cannot fulfill even your simplest desires, let alone your wildest fantasies. And this fact will hit you so hard that it'll make you feel terrible about who you are and your entire existence. In a nutshell, Metaverse will have huge implications for your mental health. On a final note, I would like to conclude that every technology has a good, bad, and ugly side to it, and Metaverse is no exception. The amazing and incredible world of virtual reality that Metaverse promises to offer can be our biggest strength and also our biggest liability. It is for us to decide how we want to exploit and utilize this technology. But considering that Metaverse will indeed become a dominant technology in future, we need to come up with better safety protocols and policies to defend ourselves against evil implications of this tech. This will only help us in exploiting the more positive side of Metaverse while efficiently combating its negative impact. So that was our special story. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button on the video and subscribe to our channel. And also comment down below which topics you want us to cover on this channel. This is Prashant signing off. See you in the next one.